Hi, it's Maggie the Aries Gypsy here to bring you your March 2021 mid-month general readings. We are looking at the last 2 weeks of March, and this reading is for the fire sign of Aries. Welcome everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to watch these videos, for hitting that subscribe button, liking, sharing, donation, support, feedback, comments, reaching out for personal readings. It is all greatly welcome and appreciated very much, and may it be returned to you tenfold. Thank you. So this reading is for the fire sign of Aries for the last 2 weeks of March 2021. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus is in Aries. If you're cross-watching for an Aries, it's all relevant. Of course, it's going to play out a little bit differently for everyone in the exact details and specifics because it's a general reading. So watch all of your signs because each one can bring in a little additional insight and perspective. If you find that any of the readings do resonate with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You'll also see that contact information by clicking on the little arrow, the little description link below. I do offer a wide variety of readings. I can usually respond within the same day with more information. And I do readings full time. It's all that I do. So I'm pretty diligent in terms of scheduling private readings and doing them in as timely a fashion as possible. So email me if you're interested. I would be delighted to hear from you. Okay, Aries, let's see what the last 2 weeks of March have in store for you. I have to tell you, I've noticed a huge trend with most of the signs right now, which, considering the year that we've been through, makes sense. A lot of people are kind of at a crossroads where they're reevaluating their lives, particularly the relationship arena, and trying to make decisions or perhaps make changes. A lot of people are kind of at that crossroads place. Okay, Aries. We begin with the devil. Little imbalance or obsessive energy there. Followed by the lovers. A very connected relationship. There is some level of obsession here. This is not someone you want to let go of or feel like you really can let go of. The Eight of Swords. Feeling trapped by that, but unwilling to perhaps see a reality about it, because Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs our minds. The only thing keeping this person trapped there is her own. This is a card of being limited by your own mental limitations, like your ideologies and perspectives. Someone who says, oh, I can't because of this and I can't because of that. You really can. It's not to say that, changing a situation wouldn't be challenging, but this is a card that kind of is about a person keeping their own selves trapped by the excuses they give themselves for why they can't make changes. And with it, we have the Two of Swords. It's another card about being stuck and bound and refusing to kind of do whatever it is you feel, compelled that you might know what to do, but you don't want to. There's a sense of being stuck and a reluctance and a resistance to let the blindfold fall off, because then you'd actually see the truth of a situation and you'd have to make decisions. Feeling trapped by a situation. We have the Seven of Cups, dreaming, building castles in the sky, daydreaming, fantasizing, only focusing on the best and most perfect outcome of things. And the Two of Cups, you have the Two of Cups and the lovers, soulmates, kindred spirits. But it sort of feels, Aries, for some of you, not for all of you, but for some of you, maybe it feels kind of like living in la la land. Either that or your partner is, because it feels like this is obviously a relationship with the lovers and the Two of Cups and the devil that you feel you can't release, you can't get out of, But there's issues within it. You know what those issues are, but you don't want to address those issues for, whatever reasons, whatever all of these swords might represent. One specific ideology or a bunch of different, ones. I can't make changes because, whatever. But I'm still just going to believe that the best is going to happen, even though I'm not taking an active part in making that happen. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy is the Ten of Swords. which is the card of betrayal or feeling thrown under the bus. It could be you, or it might be the other person that you're involved with. Let's clarify a few things. Clarify that Ten of Swords. Why the energy of the Ten of Swords? The Two of Swords, again, a willingness to see something, a willingness to make a choice, to take action. The Seven of Cups again. Whose reading was this? Was it Cancers or Scorpios? I feel like there's been a huge connection with the mid-month so far of fire signs and water signs. Like there seems to be a very similar thread between their readings. Because this is like, let me see what else is behind there. The Hermit and the Lovers. It almost feels like somebody is living in an alternate universe here, or they're someone in this relationship, whether it's you or your partner, is in a relationship where there's serious issues. There's fundamentally serious issues here. They've probably been talked about or argued about, but nothing has changed. It feels like somebody is living in La La Land. It's like everything is falling down around them. I think it was Cancer's reading that was like this. Everything's falling down around them, but they're refusing to acknowledge that and only focusing on how great it's going to turn out in the end. It's like a totally unrealistic energy here. Let's break this down a little bit further. Clarify the Devil. The Knight of Swords. So some kind of information or happening has caused this imbalance. The Five of Wands, fighting over the same thing over and over again. Petty conflicts are the same circular thing. The Knight of Wands, fast movement, action, travel, players, or somebody coming in and out. Maybe somebody left. Maybe. So again, this is a general reading and everybody has their own individual story. So how exactly this plays out is going to vary. Whatever this Ten of Swords is, this feeling like your partner betrayed you or left you behind or threw you under the bus, the exact details of that will vary in a general reading because it's not a personal reading. But it feels like leaving has something to do with it. Either, for some of you, that could be being in a relationship with somebody who's constantly in and out. I mean, as soon as things get real or different or the next new whatever thing comes along, they're off and running again, but then they always return. That's the nature of knights, particularly the Knight of Wands. He's the fastest, sometimes the player. Or you were in a relationship with someone, a very connected soulmate, kindred spirit kind of relationship, some of you, and they left suddenly, permanently. I mean, they just left. Maybe they didn't even have control over it. I mean, I don't know. Everyone has their own individual story. But even if it's not technically their fault or something, you still feel this Ten of Swords energy. Like, you know, this wasn't supposed to happen like this. This wasn't supposed to happen this way, you know. And there is a sense of not wanting to look at it or to focus on it. Maybe just focusing on, I mean, the Seven of Cups is a dream illusionary card, but it can be quite positive in that it's about looking forward and exploring all the different things that could be, that might be. I mean, the Seven of Cups is filled with potential and possibility. Perhaps there was a final ending in a relationship. A person left, you broke up, or, I mean, God forbid, but we all go through it. Maybe they passed away, and there is a certain reluctance and a resistance to feeling trapped by that and feeling like your options are limited, or maybe just not wanting to look at it for a time. Fair enough. We all kind of have to like distract ourselves from that. There's only so much reality we can handle at one time without kind of losing it. And maybe it's just about focusing forward in the future, and, you know, maybe I'll still find companionship out there, or maybe, you know, what others, you know, what other possibilities and potential is there for me out there? It could be that for some of you, which is a different sort of road than those of you who are still in a relationship where there's, the devil card energy is still toxic and going on, because that's cyclical energy. So for some of you, it's the absolute loss of a relationship and the fallout from that, which you can't do anything about except deal with what you can when you can. And there's days where you have to like not even think about it. That's okay. That's a different group of Aries here. And then there's the group that are actively in this but feel like you can't remove yourself from it for, whatever reasons these swords are that you keep telling yourself. For those of you, some of you might want to remember that this is a very big world, and there's a lot of other people in this world too. And even though you may feel like this person is your person, there's a lot of other options and opportunities out there for you. And if this is a person that keeps coming in and out of your life and leaving you to kind of bear the burden of everything on your own, I mean, what's the point of being in a partnership if you're not there to kind of support each other, right? So there are other options and opportunities for you, because a true soulmate, someone who truly loves you, wouldn't really do that, right? There might be a sense, this devil sense of attachment, but the devil is coming from a, kind of a place of, in unhealthy relationships, the devil is, it's about possession and acquiring and ownership and stuff and addiction. It's not coming from a place of deep spirituality or love. So you may want to remember that moving forward, that a true soulmate doesn't offer that. I mean, there might be a karmic connection between the two of you because you're meant to learn this lesson, but that's kind of what I'm feeling here. It feels like and we're only looking at a short period of time, it's 2 weeks. I feel like kind of in the middle of it, you're just kind of in this cocoon of, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can do anything. And I just really don't want to think about it right now. I'm tired of making decisions. I don't want to make any more decisions. I don't want to deal with this right now. I need a break from reality, and fair enough. That's fine. But don't forget to remember that. Don't forget to remember. Stupid thing to say, Maggie. Don't forget that there are other options and opportunities for you out there. And not even necessarily in love and romance, just other connected people and friendships, people who care about you. The world is still open to you. The Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords is feeling like you're trapped in this small little corral and you can't free yourself, and there are no other options left. So when you find yourself in that space and time, anytime over the next 2 weeks, I'm feeling more and more like this Seven of Cups is more of a positive thing. Like you need to actually take a look at what is still available for you out there. And if you're like, well, I don't know what's available, that's the whole point. You don't know. So don't limit yourself. Take the blindfold off. Don't limit yourself with, whatever it is you're telling yourself that you can't. I can't because, fill in the blank, because you can. I'm going to end with just pulling something because I feel like I need to end with that. Also because I'm getting 3 different distinctive stories for 3 different distinctive groups of Aries, and they're all quite different from each other. Although again, there's a lot of the fundamental energy that remains the same. The person is either in or out, or they're gone, and you're kind of left there, and you're needed to make decisions and choices and move ahead and all of that stuff. It's difficult. You don't want to look at it. Sometimes you just want to put your head in the sand, and because you're overwhelmed and you're tired of making decisions and trying to figure out what lies ahead because you weren't anticipating this or anticipating this again or whatever. But there's still all these opportunities for you out there. And I want you to remember that, Aries. 1 or 2 message, advice, guidance cards for Aries. What should they do or focus on during this time? Well, healing, leaving, healing, slowly but surely moving away from the source of the pain, the angst, the challenge, the grief, and moving into a better place. It's a bittersweet kind of card because it's a process, Maybe the worst of it is behind you. The thing has already happened, right? You're not to the other shore quite yet, not quite on solid ground yet, but you're moving towards that. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's difficult. The early days of healing are. There's a lot of decisions you have to make, and you get tired of doing those. Strength, facing your fears, the Eight of Cups, and leaving behind what isn't ultimately satisfying or fulfilling for you. There's kind of a sense here of actual leaving, too. Physically leaving, moving, traveling, taking a trip. There's a sense of sadness to it, too. It's almost because you have to. Sometimes we move on because something happened, we had no other choice, right? And this is about facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities in order to do that, in order to move forward. And not in a cynical or jaded way, too, trying to keep yourself open to what other possibilities and potentials there are out there. Let's see what the next card is. Seven of Swords, concealment or strategy. You may not be talking too much to too many people about this or about your plans. Could be that as well. It's a process, Aries. And for those of you for whom are still in this relationship that just doesn't look very healthy, remember at the end of the day, ask yourself what a true soulmate would look like. And I don't mean like what they would look like where they have dark hair, blonde hair. I mean, and this is a message I feel compelled to give somebody out there. What kind of day-to-day life would you have with them? What would you expect from them that you're also willing to give? Because whatever we want, we have to become in order to attract that, right? So it's about considering if you're in a relationship and it's unhealthy and it's unhappy and it's been going around and around for all this time, and you're like, oh, this is my person, I can't leave because this is my person. Really? Would Spirit really have a soulmate for you like that? Or are you telling yourself that for whatever reasons? Usually fear, right? Of being alone, fear of putting yourself out there again. Just something to consider. Somebody out there needed to hear that. Okay, I'll stop now. Aries. That is your reading. Gosh, a lot of these mid-months have been kind of on the heavy side, but that's the cyclical nature of life. Aries, that is your reading. I hope that it's been helpful in some way to you. Again, if any of these readings resonate with you, you'd like to reach out, take a deeper look at something for yourself or even as a gift for someone else, click the description link below for contact details. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I would be most happy to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the April general readings. Until then, please stay safe and well, be blessed, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.